Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we're highlighting an organization that honors Black History Month year-round by funding Black-led nonprofits. We'll also meet the duo behind Livingston Philanthropies, who are working to support families facing food insecurity across New Jersey. But first, we're talking about housing insecurity and food access with Kate Duggan and Paul Shackford from Family Promise of Bergen County. For more than 3 decades, their organization has supported working families facing homelessness by providing temporary housing, daily meals, and personalized support to help families regain stability. Welcome, Kate and Paul.
Thank you for having us.
What a beautiful venture the both of you are helming.
Well, we've been doing it a long time, and it's something that people don't necessarily think about, especially in the county that we live in, which is Bergen. It's a relatively affluent county, and the thought that there are people experiencing homelessness is foreign to a lot of people.
You mentioned that because Bergen County, nationwide it's known as one of the most affluent in America, but there's a lot of food insecurity we don't know about, Paul.
There certainly is. In fact, we have a food program, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But we serve over 150 meals every day. Last September, we celebrated our 1.5 millionth meal that we've served since we started this program. So there's and these are working people that, in most cases, need this food.
What about the housing insecurity in Bergen County?
It's not generally known, but there are 250,000 fewer affordable units that are needed. So there's a constant, you see the building going on all over Bergen County, but it's generally premium housing. And that's also taking away the land and the property, so there's less room to build affordable units. So it's a vicious circle, and it's not getting better.
And when we talk about affordable units, we're talking about people that work in the town. So we're talking about teachers and firefighters, and if they can't afford to live locally, that makes it really, really difficult.
Of course. So how does Family Promise help these folks?
So Family Promise is actually working with families facing homelessness, and we have a whole spectrum of services for them. A family is going along working. Many families in New Jersey, nationally, are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning that once they pay the bills, there's nothing left, or very little left, which explains why 30% of New Jersey residents do not have the cash on hand to cover an unexpected $400 expense. And so knowing that, it's easy to understand how an illness, house repair, say the furnace goes, a breakup of a relationship can send a family spiraling into homelessness. So we get calls from people all the time, and because they don't have this expendable income, they are having difficulty digging out of that hole. And that's where Family Promise can step in and say, let us help cover that back rent for a month or 2 months. And then you go on your way.
But you need money to do that. So how do you get the funds to help?
So we get very little government funding. Virtually everything we get is from individuals or corporations or foundations. And I'm very glad, by the way, about the very little amount from government funding. During the COVID, when all that happened, nonprofits were really getting stuck. Some of their money was just drying up. It wasn't there. A number of them found that they had to reduce services. We didn't, because our donors continued to support us, and we didn't have to worry about the money coming from the government.
How do you help with housing?
All right, so we talked about prevention, but then there are people that come to us. There's a lot of shame surrounding homelessness. It's hard to admit that, oh my gosh, I have really failed at a basic duty of a parent, right, is to provide a roof over your head. So very often families wait to the last minute. And so we get these calls, they are actually homeless, right, or going to be very quickly. So Prior to COVID, we used to shelter families at congregations all over Bergen County. And we could shelter 4 families at a time, and they would go from congregation to congregation each week. Well, obviously, COVID made that impossible. And we started housing families in local hotels. We look for hotels, nice hotels in good areas with kitchenettes so that the family can perhaps cook basic meals and eat together as a family. We're all about keeping that family unit together. But our goal for families experiencing homelessness is not, okay, here's some assistance, you're on your way, because when the assistance goes away, the families find themselves in exactly the same position that they were in. So our goal is to empower families to really work with their skills and strengths, and with our support become self-sufficient, so that when they leave Family Promise, they're able to maintain stable housing.
One of my favorite examples of that is a woman was talking to our case managers and trying to figure out what's my next step. And in discussing it, she said, you know, my brothers are truck drivers, and I always thought that would be interesting. And they said, well, would you like to be a truck driver? So we sent her to school and paid for that. And now she could be driving down I-80 today. You know?
Wow.
So we really want to make a change. And as Kate said, we want just the cards and the letters to come back. So we pay for their education, whatever they need. They're not paying us rent if they're staying in the hotels, or we take care of all of that. We do take 40% of their income and we put it in an escrow account. So when they leave, we give them all that money back so that they now have a nest egg. They could walk out of being with us with $8,000 to $10,000. Very different than when they came in. So this is a life changer.
I love that the
people.
most, because you're treating them as a whole person and setting them up for true success. I've never heard a nonprofit doing that, you know, like a money management sort of thing.
Right.
Well, one of our most important programs, I think, is our financial education program. So we have financial coaches that teach the families all about the basics, budgeting and your credit score and how important good credit is. I mean, some families even have the money, but they don't have the credit. So we have these coaches who work with the families and teach them the basics, but then meet with the families individually. And so they will deal with each of us differently based on our needs.
Well, with the both of you at the spearhead of all of this, you're going to be successful for another 30 years and beyond.
We hope.
Geez, 30 more years? I must say, I've been involved with this for almost 40 years. I never would have thought this is where I would be 40 years from now. I think I was a little naive. I thought maybe the homelessness issue might go away, or it's just getting bigger. You know, what we're doing is really important work for them, and so with the huge number of volunteers and other supporters, we can affect so many people.
Absolutely. Well, where can people watching find out more and support?
So we have a website, bergenfamilypromise.org. So go on our website and learn more about us.
I hope everyone watching will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes, very nice.
In honor of Black History Month, we're joined by Carole Rogers, founder of SparkNJ, an organization created to address the funding gap for Black-led nonprofits across New Jersey. Carole, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What a organization, especially during February, to be talking about. What does SparkNJ do?
SparkNJ provides funding, unrestricted funding, to Black-led nonprofits in New Jersey. And we have a rather unique process. We want our grants to be trust-based. So from the very beginning, we have never required an application, and we don't require long accounting reports afterwards. We trust the organizations to do what they say they will do, and we give them the money unrestricted. We operate with nominators, who are people out in the field in various communities, geographic communities as well as service communities, and we ask those people to bring to us nonprofits that they think SparkNJ should fund.
How many grants are you giving out per year?
When we started in this is our 4th year. When we started in 2022, we gave out 6 grants, and we had raised $35,000 for that. And this year we gave out 12 grants and we had $105,000. I should say right now that we're not a corporate foundation, we're not a private family foundation, we have no government funds. All of the money that we give to nonprofits, the Black-led nonprofits, is raised by donors, is given. Every donor gives money, all that money goes to the grants.
You started this at a very interesting time. What inspired you?
I went to a series of dialogue sessions on anti-racism sponsored by the Summit Interfaith Council. And as we went through them, I was inspired by all of the things that other people were thinking about doing. My background from Impact 100 and some other work I had done in the nonprofit sector was in philanthropy. I began to think about the fact that many smaller Black-led nonprofits don't really get in the room where many funding decisions are made. And so I talked with my husband. I was a very big part of the starting of SparkNJ. And then we talked to some other couples, and we talked with Black leaders, and we talked with leaders in philanthropy. And then we just sort of did it. And so in 2022, we gave our first grants.
Describe the nominator process.
I'd love to do that. It's a very unique part of SparkNJ, but from the very beginning, we have felt that it wasn't up to us to choose who we gave funding to. We wanted it to be people from the communities, and whether those communities were geographic communities like Essex County or Passaic or Morris County, we wanted those people to tell us who should receive our grants. And so each year we recruit people from these communities, and the communities can be geographic or the communities can be about a service area such as education. And we ask those nominators to bring to us the name of an organization that they think is doing good work. They already have to be doing the work. It's not aspirational, it's actually being done, and that they think should be given a grant. And as I said, our grants are unrestricted. So it's really trust-based. We trust our nominators to bring us the names of the organizations, and we trust the organizations and the people who run them to do the job.
Over the years, who have you helped?
We've helped a variety of organizations, 32 organizations over 4 years. This past year we helped 12 organizations we funded. The majority of them, more than 50%, have been related to education. Could be education, or it could be workforce training, or it could be access to the arts, but it's dealing with youth. So for instance, this year we funded an organization called Soul Fam, and they help children, boys and girls between 12 and 25. And they work with them on STEM. One of their groups of boys had reached the finals in a NASA competition for robots, and they're thrilled with that. Others of them are learning to be cheerleaders or drum majorettes, or they have soccer teams and things. So they just are working with the kids in after-school activities. Another organization works with young men. Academy 365 we funded, and they worked specifically with young men. We've also, one year we had 2 organizations that were working with young women. So it's a whole variety of things, but the education and the youth seems to predominate.
Where do you see SparkNJ growing over the next 5 years?
That's a very good question. We depend on donors, individual donors, and each year we reach out to new donors. So when we started, we had $35,000 our first year. This year we have $105,000, and we are hoping now's our grant season, and we reach out to people, particularly during February. We have a match, and we hope that we will just be able to grow incrementally, but significantly each year, and give away more and more grants as they come to us, as the nominators bring in. So this year we're now in the process of recruiting nominators, and I see us growing, and that's the feedback that we've gotten from our grantees.
Well, with you leading the charge, I mean, this is your life's work. I mentioned off camera, I'm an Impact 100 member.
All right, there's a model for Impact 100 that has been going on for many years, and I hope for the same growth for Spark. You know, we have a celebration event once a year in which we honor our recipients. Lisa, the energy in the room and the excitement, not just because they've received money, but because they're being recognized. They personally, for the work they do, The work they do is phenomenal, but the people themselves who are doing it, it's so exciting to be with them and to feel their energy and to help them do what they do, you know? So that's what I hope for more of. I want to see a lot more celebration events and grow us, you know, get some more money.
We all love a good party.
Yep, we do.
Who doesn't?
We do.
What was your background leading up to bringing Impact to New Jersey?
I had, professionally, I am a writer and an oral historian, and that I have done all my life. I've published some books, all nonfiction books and articles in newspapers and magazines. But always running parallel to that was a commitment to the nonprofit area. My husband and I moved to Morristown. We've been here for many years, and both of us felt a commitment to our surroundings, to our communities here. So I've been part of a lot of nonprofits and on boards and things leading up to starting Impact. I started an earlier nonprofit years before that for public relations, volunteers in public relations. So I've done a lot of those things, but Impact was an exciting next step. Yes.
Well, this is why I love this show, because I meet so many interesting people like yourself from all walks of life. So
thank you for your interest. You know, I love telling the story. I love to be able to tell the work that our nonprofits do, and I love telling their personal stories. Many of them, these organizations are founder-led. So you're meeting people who have a tremendous personal commitment to what they do. There's a young woman called Vu-Ann Foster who received one of our awards this year.
She's been a guest on the show.
Okay, so you know her story. And there have been other, Nadine Wright Arbabakar is started Nassan's Place because her son was autistic, and she realized that there were no areas for support and education and respite and recreation for autistic children in low-income neighborhoods. And that has just grown phenomenally. And Nadine has been a wonderful supporter for Spark because she then became a nominator, and she's a donor and just a participant in so many ways. The energy keeps going and building, and that's what I love.
Hey, good energy, when fed properly, multiplies by millions.
Let's hope.
Right?
Let's hope. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's what we need. We need it to spread. We need the word to spread.
Well, where can people find out more about SparkNJ and to get involved?
SparkNJ.org, and there's a QR code that's on the screen, and we can be reached at info@sparknj.org. So we're present in the community, and we'd love to hear from people. We'd love to know anybody who would like to join us. We'd like to just have a conversation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on all of your great work around the Garden State.
Thank you very much, Lisa. It's a pleasure to be here.
Jeff and Karen Friedman of Livingston Philanthropies, Inc., a grassroots all-volunteer organization now entering its 15th season of providing clothing, food, and essential items to families living below the poverty line in Newark and surrounding communities. Jeff, Karen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank
Great,
you.
Lisa.
Pleasure.
So happy to be here.
Well, I am so happy because not only are you just two rock stars making it all happen,
Please.
you were my first ever director in television.
Well, I know we worked together for. Oh, I was the first.
Well, when I used to do segments for One-on-One with Steve Adubato,
Right.
you were the director.
Wow. See, I knew we did stuff, but I didn't realize that.
It
Wow.
goes back.
It
huh?
goes way back. I mean, 20 years went by in a flash.
Is it 20 years? Well,
To be here is just full circle at the highest power, and I love those moments. But we're not here to talk about that. We're
Right,
talking about LPI.
Yeah.
15 years of giving back. Where did the story start?
where does the story start? Well, it starts when years ago, before we even had a 501c3, we would volunteer at the soup kitchen in Newark, St. John's, the NJN TV studio. I used to see the lines. What the heck's going on here? So there was that. We made sandwiches at home. It evolved. Then we did a glove drive. Then we started doing a coat drive. And now in our 15th season, we're not only a 501, but we do all kinds of stuff. If we had an hour show, I'd outline it for you, but we don't.
So you said that Jeff spends hours every day in the garage organizing for all these different organizations.
Yes, the garage and the office, because there's all this business stuff. It becomes a business in a sense. You have to write and log in a lot of things, and you know, the dates and all that. So he does that. It's very time consuming. It's like, actually, this is like a full-time job.
Yeah,
Well,
what
it-
retirement,
You know,
right?
Well, it is.
it is. And we go down to Newark at least 3 times a week. And we have partners down there who distribute the things that we give. And we give to individuals as well.
What's crazy is in the 15 years, food insecurity has not gotten better.
No.
It has gotten much, much worse.
Much
worse. Sure. I mean, if you think of it, it was horrible before COVID. Unacceptable. People lined up, you know, horrible. Then COVID came, got even worse, if you can imagine. Then after COVID came inflation and came, you know, a current situation, and it's even worse than that. So it's beyond, kind of beyond repairable, I'm going to say. But what we can do is, you know, make our little...
We hope that it will, but every time we go, no matter how many times a week, the lines are longer and people are in more need than ever. Food insecurities are there. You know, they have kids and they have to decide, am I going to pay my rent if they have a home? Am I going to buy this or am I going to buy food? Most people, a couple of towns from there, would never think of such a thing, you know.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it is beyond. And so we're fortunate. I mean, we're grassroots. We're a small nonprofit, as I said, of 501. But as a friend of ours said, we do retail philanthropy. Obviously, we're not selling it, but in fact, we're buying a lot with generous donations, but we're down at the retail level, helping in any way we can. And through generous donations, we're up to 6 times per month now with fresh fruit and produce delivery. In fact, we just dropped off a giant van full of produce and fruit minutes ago.
Yeah, we do that.
Oh, on your way here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It worked out.
It did work out.
And
but,
it's really...
They're very grateful.
Yeah.
People are very thankful.
You mentioned that you're grassroots and that you are entirely donor-driven. How are you getting the word out there?
Really, a lot of word of mouth, like anything that's worthwhile and good and honest. And so, especially where we live, people don't know what to do. They have all this excess stuff.
Right.
And they have, one woman had 30 coats. I mean, I don't know. But whatever she shared with us, that's what I think. Like, people ask their friends, well, where should I go? What should I do?
Exactly.
And they always say us.
Yeah, I mean, we're in our 15th year now, our 15th season, so we are the go-to, and so we get a ton of all gently used, very important, gently used family clothing, shoes or gold. We have a shoe manufacturer for years. We just picked up the other day brand new shoes, gently used shoes or gold. This is platinum. Unbelievable. He gave us a van full of
shoes.
You know, and it goes on, and we never know what's going to come through the door.
That's true.
But what we also do, how do we get the word out? I write for the West Essex Tribune in Livingston, our wonderful partner since the beginning, and they publish us every week. And I put the articles on Facebook, and here we are, 14.5 years later, making it happen.
What are some of the most in-demand items?
Socks and shoes are very important.
Our mission is we're handling families living below the poverty line and citizens without addresses. You know, those are the homeless people, and it's exactly right.
Yeah, we both have the same goals, the same visions. We want to do the same thing, and we both have such joy doing it.
Yeah, and you know,
so that's,
you could tell that.
This is something that we've done together for all these years, and it's kind of nice.
It is.
Well, for people watching, how can they get in touch with you and to donate?
Thank you, Lisa. It's going to be, our website is a great place to donate. It's going to be njhomeless.org, or folks can email directly to me or njhomeless@aol.com, and they can call me and I'll discuss it. 973-533-9336. And you know what? It's so great to see you and work with you.
Oh, this is
it's
awesome.
so nice of you to invite us on the show.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you so
I'm
much.
a longtime admirer of yours for so many reasons, but especially how you've taken your second act over here.
Thank you.
And just helped so many people in need.
Appreciate it,
very
Lisa.
vital.
Thank
Appreciate
you very
it.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.